Yo, what's up, guys? Hope y'all having a great day. Thank you for watching. Today we're talking about Rust Console Edition, patch notes 1.5. As always, I'll put a link to it in the pinned comments so you can check it out on your own. And honestly, it's pretty big. That's what she said. So I'll probably miss something. And yeah, if you guys want to check it out, yeah, I'd recommend doing that. Anyways, let's go ahead and knock this out real fast because I kind of want to do the shipping container skin review if it actually is available in time for me to do it. I'm kind of busy today. I got a lot of stuff I got to do. It was first up in the added section. We got Junkyard Monument, which is pretty cool. It's got the crane and shredder, so you can get extra scrap and whatnot from the unused modular vehicles. The modular vehicles are kind of cool. You can print them up on like this jack thing and add stuff to them. I don't know, they're pretty customizable. I haven't really messed with them that much, but I can see it'd be pretty fun. I like the motor bikes, which is new. We also have the pedal bikes. I like that too because you just repair these with some metal frags and a hammer, and you can ride them around. They're pretty dope. We also have smoother roads now for the the bikes and the vehicles. We also have dynamic MVC vendor pricing, which I know a lot of you guys are going to be really sad when you notice the jackhammer price has gone up. Now some metal frags and whatnot prices will go up as well. We also have handcuffs and prisoner hoods. I don't know what weirdo wanted these in the game. I don't know what to say about those. We also have some community changes, which I'm not going to really read these. They're nothing that's going to really bother the average player. So, I mean, but if you're an admin or whatever, you might want to check these out. Gameplay changes. They fixed a few instances of crashes. Flares on the attack chopper now work properly against homing missiles. Looking through a hollow sight and a handmade sight no longer have trailing issues. Fix a bug where players could fall through the terrain in water treatment plant. Players can no longer place down barricades inside the abandoned supermarket. Throw melee weapons can no longer be picked up through the other side of the wall. Changing the skin on the tool cover will no longer affect how electricity passes through the storage monitor. No invisible wires will be able to be formed between the input of a root combiner and the output switch. Fix a bug where auto sorting would leave a blank spot that was unusable in your boxes. The amount of loot in a supply drop now matches Steam, which means they got a huge buff. I was on the public test branch. I noticed you get a lot more guns in them. It's mostly customs and SARS, but still, and more guns is better than less guns. And you're more likely to get C4, it seemed like, and satchels and bean cans. So honestly, supply signals, you might want to go to those more often. Improve the performance of firing incense rockets while flying attack choppers. I've never done that, so I don't even know you could fire incense rockets out of them. Improve the performance when mining ore with the jackhammer or harvesting trees. Obviously not with the jackhammer. Fix a bug where players can build inside certain rocks. Fix a bug where players can power electrical components without consuming any power from the battery. Okay, so we have some visual stuff. Updated the water visuals at underwater labs, like anyone actually goes there. Bright lights no longer appear the player moving around the water surface. Interior lights of underwater labs no longer flicker. Windows in the large oil rig moon pool no longer clip. Adjusted the lighting in the upper office room and power plant. Added red light emissions to the gambling wheel. Fixed visual issues at outposts. Fixed multiple instances of objects and monuments jittering when viewed at a distance. Boxes being carried by drones no longer appear invisible when viewed from underneath. Wet status is now correctly applied near walk bodies of water. Fixed an issue where players could see through underwater if they're very close to the water surface. Remove visual artifacts that appeared when closely viewing objects underwater. Crate textures now appear correctly when they float to the top of the water surface. Reduce visual artifacts on the terrain near beaches. Reduce instances of flickering shadows when big bases were nearby each other. Clouds no longer shift position randomly. Fix visual issues for tree saplings and snow biome. Notes no longer turn invisible. Players' positions will update accordingly when the bed beneath them is destroyed. Fix the bug where players' shadows were offset. Blocky shadows and invisible smoke will no longer appear behind vehicles. Electric heaters no longer appear to be turned on when players nearby even though it's off. Throwing a Molotov onto a tugboat will no longer cause the tugboat to flip over. That would be funny to watch. Searchlights will now illuminate a larger area. Fix the bug where the light is not aligned with the ceiling light bulb. While wearing a candle hat, the light is various building blocks and now look more natural. Fix a bug where dropped hatches will appear white. Bullet cases now appear correctly when firing the ℂ𝕆𝕊𝕋. Objects highlighted no longer follow smoke particles from smoke grenades. All MP5 skins are now correct resolution. Multiple chest plate skins now appear correctly when worn. Fix a bug where skin double barrel shotguns were missing their stock. Thompson skins no longer have invisible stocks causing visual issues. Black Dr. Semi-Auto rifle sights are now centered. Players' hands no longer clips through when holding rocks with glowing skins. Fix the world model for the Pirate Balaclava skin. Fix the tugboat sheet metal door icon in the locker. Updated the silhouette of the tugboat sheet metal door to better match the actual model. Lockdown armored door correctly emits light. Fix an issue where the green text could be seen through the small gaps in the lockdown architecture. Exclamation point decal on the architecture furnace no longer appears when the light is off. Players can no longer see through certain skinned items. When male characters wear burlap shirt and pants, both items no longer clip through each other. Dual straps no longer clip through the player when they wear a tank top, bone armor, or roadside jacket. The menu overlay is correctly visible while in the control layout screen. The main menu no longer appears briefly when transitioning between the preview and locker screen. The little lights on the purple rug now light up. Fix visual issues when previewing shocking architecture skin pack in the locker. We also have some UI changes here. Updated localization related to the Airwolf vendor. Combat log now translates to other languages. Fix localization issue with loot bags boxes dropped from submarines and attack helicopters and hot air balloons. Fix the bug where the fuel in the torpedo prompt and the duo submarine was not present. Remove the extra spacing in the front of the Twin Aces wired helmet title. Mic recommendation text shows up correctly when the headset's not plugged in. Fix a bug where the error window would appear after confirmation of authorizing turrets, sleeping bags, and beds. Text shown for a single vending machine view on the map no longer blurry. Updated localization related to ban reasons. Fix a bug where colored pixels would appear on the left of the screen along the dark spots in the rest of the main menu. Updated localization for the adaptive trigger and the options menu. Selected slots and the spawn menu cluster up on the map UI will no longer reset back to the first slot. Okay, we have some audio changes as well. Music in the skin store no longer stutters when you're hovering over stuff. Audio now plays correctly when the drone drops items. Dropped items now have the correct audio cue when it hits the ground. Flamethrower firing sound effect no longer loops endlessly. Opening and closing a hatch now makes the correct sound effect. Water sounds for the kayak have been adjusted. And that's about it, guys. I know it was pretty crazy. I probably missed some stuff. Who knows, I might have edited this bad and there's like outtakes and stuff, whatever. It is what it is. Probably a long video as well. But those are all the changes. If you guys are interested in checking out for yourself, like I said, check out the pinned comment. I'll put a link to this. And if you guys want to stay up to date with Rust content, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. And I'll catch you all later. Deuces.